Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan.
This is Jake.
This is Flerick.
This is Mac.
And this is our Hatsu Midway recap episode. We have spoilers through day 8. So if you've not watched day 8, pause us, watch day 8, come back to us. Before we dive into any of the great sumo action that we've seen through the first week.
Honestly, yeah.
I think it's been a fantastic week one. Let's quick plug our Patreon. We have one. You can sign up for it at the $1 level where you get one compliment per basho, or if you sign up for the first time, you get a specific compliment just for yourself. Or you can
Very
sign up
valuable,
for 3.
you see.
Very
It's
valuable.
a great deal.
Sometimes I sing for it, so for that alone, you should sign up.
That is a reference to DK when he joined.
DK, and then Dan when I gave a rousing rendition of It's Raining Dan.
That's right.
Oh God, I forgot that. That's what's that meme? It's like, if I had a nickel for every time Ryan sang as a compliment, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
We should follow up to see if Dan's still a patron after that.
Kidding.
You can also sign up at our $3 level. It also entitles you to a compliment, but you can also demand that we answer any question that you wish, sumo or otherwise. We have such question that we will be answering here today. So Jake, why don't you give a compliment to a new patron that has signed up in the past week?
Oh, sorry, that sentence just kept going. I was like,
I know. I was like, okay.
No, this one's kind of special. This one is William. William's been a longtime listener, and he was joking around that he just kept forgetting to sign up.
Thank you for finally doing it.
Yeah, so thank you. Under the name William Baggins. So your compliment here, William Baggins, if you had a magic ring, I would protect you all the way to Mount Doom, and I wouldn't try to take it from you at the last second. I totally promise.
More of a Samwise than the Golem.
You have my microphone.
I'll be the Samwise to your Baggins, not the Gollum to
you. You have my notebook.
Yeah.
Also, special shout out. William mentioned he watches sumo with his mom, and even though she's really scared that they're going to get hurt. Which I think is
all right, William's
and
mom, it's time for you to sign up for the Patreon now.
Yeah, what gives?
But thank you, William's mom, for watching sumo with him.
Yes,
we love sumo, so the more people that watch sumo, thank you. Just keep spreading the love. Keep spreading,
especially moms.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
More moms need to watch sumo.
Mm-hmm. But to the rest of our wonderful patrons, namely Dick Flair, Heather Jockins, Radish Cat, Devin Peterson, Thora Cottrell, Robbie Gardner, Joe Hobbs, Emo Dingo, still love that, Cole Brumley, Rob Shields, Trent E., Caroline, Octavian Martin, Rob Graham, and Glenn Otto. Your support is more stunning than an Ura victory pose.
Yeah, what was it, day 2, that he busted out the...
Beautiful, just beautiful.
Nobody enjoys nobody enjoys their handiwork more than Ura, but then Hoshoryu exists, so that's not
also
quite true.
Yes. Also yes.
Hoshoryu's a little bit more angry with his post-match, not really poses, just faces. He had a good stink face for Sada Naomi today.
But Ura's just happy.
Jake, you're muted.
Well, whose choice was that? But especially after henking the poor guy, like, come on, man.
Oh yeah, that was
for me.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We got a couple of things.
We'll dive into that later.
Yeah. So real quick, amateur sumo update. In February on the 11th, we have the Mighty Eagle Team Tournament in San Antonio. On the 25th, we have the SoCal Open in San Diego. And most importantly, on the 11th of March, we have Nationals in Orlando. Make sure to go to the United States Sumo Federation website or social media. There will be links to get signed up for that. But again, that is March 11th in Orlando. There's a couple other dates going on after that. The March 25th, there will be a youth tournament in Nashville. Let's see what else we got.
I'm going to be in Nashville like the week before that.
Ooh.
Huh.
Delay
Just
it,
missing
Ryan.
it.
Go.
Can't. Got to line it
Just-
up with the teacher schedule, and that the week we're
No.
going is spring break. So
There you go. Also, the U.S. Open of 2023 is on May 20th. That
Oh.
was announced recently.
Nice.
If you are an amateur sumo wrestler, one thing to keep an eye out for, specifically at this Nationals, there will be discussion of changes to the bylaws of the organization, trying to keep up with the massive growth over the last couple of years within that
Love it.
organization.
you're
Love it,
welcome,
love it,
amateur
love it, love it.
sumo.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Bylaw number 1, GSP is great.
Yeah.
Got to make sure to get that in there. Keep an eye out for that though, because that will be important for us all to review and discuss together over the next couple months as a amateur sumo community.
We also want to give a shout out to Nato Sumo, which is a daily match digest channel on YouTube. I've been watching those videos for I don't know how long. They provide stats on all the Rikishi before every match, like head-to-head matchups, what their records are, how they've been doing over the past year, how old they are, how long they've been in the top division, and just gives you all the replays of the matches. It's just a very good digest of all the videos. If you're somehow still looking for a way to watch sumo on the daily, highly recommend Nato Sumo. They're celebrating 5 years on YouTube. And
Also,
then-
shout out
yeah.
to Kitamiyama, who is celebrating 500 years on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes, the sage of sumo.
Been there for a million years.
Yeah, I think half of us watch Nato. I think the other half don't have time for that and watch Kitamayama.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends what
Mhm.
day it is and how many days we've missed. And then we're like, all right, just give me the rundown.
His day 8 video, less than 7 minutes. Just
Yeah, exactly. Just
As
beautiful.
quickie ones, it's
Oh,
great.
Compared to Nato Sumo's half-hour daily videos. Yeah,
mhm.
I mean, both of them have their merits, and that's
Yeah,
what I love
sometimes I
about
got
it.
time for that.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I don't.
Exactly.
All right, but like we mentioned, we've had a great week 1 to start off sumo in the year 2023. So let's talk about that. Sumo in the top division, our Yusho leaders at 7-1, Ozeki Takakeisho. And this is a guy that theoretically, if he wins this Yusho, could be promoted to Yokozuna. We had talked about the YDC wanted a spectacular Yusho win for Takakeisho, possibly even a Zensho Yusho. And if that's the case, Yokozuna could already be off the table for him. But hopefully a 14-1, if he could get there, would change your mind. But Mac, what are your overall thoughts on Takakeisho so far this basho?
I think I saw this on Twitter as well, also on YouTube, yes. But in my opinion, if he gets the rope this time, he will have earned it. I love what I am seeing from him. I love his lateral moves, and it's just a Supari match back and forth. It is a massive slugfest. Apparently, it's not just Koto no Waka that he's going to try and just beat the absolute piss out of anymore. It's anybody that
Open
wants to
season.
stand up and try and get in a slugfest with him. But
Yeah.
he's come out on top, and that's what I love about this. It's not beautiful sumo. It is just grit sumo. And I think I like
beautiful
this.
sumo.
I like what I'm seeing from him.
I do think there, if you're into it, which not everybody is, but I do think there is a beauty to Takakeisho sumo. Like when he's on, like he is this basho, like I just love watching him get into that like wave action rhythm and blasting a guy out. Or these past couple days where he's been fighting smaller guys, Midori Fuji and Nishiki Fuji, that have put up a great fight against him. Just him continuing to be just a wall that they can't blast past, and he's eventually going to wear them out or somehow throw them out with a kotenage.
Yeah.
What the
From
heck?
Takakeisho?
Yep.
The
That's
dude
illegal.
wants the
Who are
promotion if he's
you?
pulling out a kotenage.
I don't know.
How many times-
Takakeisho is. Go ahead, Flair.
How many times have we seen him fail that Kotanage? And he finally pulled it off. It was great.
Oyama
I-
did it, so why couldn't Takakeisho?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
Both
did
of those
look
guys
it
winning
up.
by grappling this week. What the hell?
Hey, right.
That was the third kotenage in Takakeisho's career,
Yeah.
which I
sounds
think
about
is just one behind the number of Yorikiri wins he has in his career.
Very, very telling. Very telling.
Yeah, Takakeisho's. I don't know. One way that I would like talk about it, like Mac, you said, it's not necessarily beautiful sumo. It's like, I don't know. The brutality is kind of like what I want in sumo sometimes, though.
Yeah.
Like Takakeisho is like watching a football game where both teams score 40+ points, right?
Right.
Or like it's a boxing match with like 11 knockdowns. It's like It's like
But that's what it's grit, and it's
the-
not
the
necessarily
sleeveless
technique.
version of
It's
sumo. Yeah,
yes,
like
okay, it's passion.
no sleeves, trucker hat, like Takakeisho like kicks in the door and like spits tobacco spit on the floor and stuff like that. He's here to kick ass, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, he's got some too.
leave the intellectual chess matches for other guys. You don't need that every time.
Hoshoryu, where are you?
Yeah, right.
exactly. That'll be a fun match when that comes up.
Yes.
But we did get a question kind of centering around Takakeisho from one of our patrons, Josh Schaff, one of the original patrons for Grand Sumo Breakdown. He asked, has a Jun Yusho followed up by a Yusho from an Ozeki ever resulted in not being promoted to Yokozuna? So did a quick little research and found that there have been 17 times in the modern era where an Ozeki has won a Jun Yusho and followed it up with a Yusho. 10 times that did not result in Yokozuna promotion, including the last time that an Ozeki won a Jun Yusho and followed it up with a Yusho. It happened to Takakeisho back in 2020. He had a 12-3 Jun Yusho and followed it up with a 13-2 Yusho and was not promoted. But 7 times it did result in a Yokozuna promotion. So it's not quite 50-50, but it's pretty close.
So just another reason that 2020 was a shit year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Was
looking
there,
back
like,
at his record though, like if he had been promoted then, that would not have been a good idea.
So he got injured right away.
Immediately. Sorry, I interrupted you, Flair. What were you going to say?
Yeah, it was very early, but I was wondering if there was like any kind of pattern to that. Like maybe it was like was it just like 12-3? Was it early on in the career? That would be my thoughts why Takakeisho, because it's really early and 12-3 and like a 13-2.
So there's nothing definite, but what I'm seeing, it kind of seems like the magic number to hit is almost 26 wins over combined across those two basho. Because what I'm seeing, and these 17 occurrences are from 1958. That's kind of when I take all my stats, because that's when we hit the 6 basho per year, 15 days per basho. Sure. Everything's been locked in since then. So it's happened a few times prior to that, but I'm discounting it because I was olden times and weird, and who knows how they did it back then.
Yep.
That's fair.
But it looks like one Ozeki promotion, a 13-2 followed, or a Yokozuna promotion, 13-2 Jun Yusho followed by 13-2 Yusho. Then you had 13-2, 15-0, 13-2, 14-1, 13-2, 14-1. And then you get like an 11-4, 14-1, not quite making it. 12-3, 15-0. That one surprised me. That one kind of stands out as one that was Musashi Maru back in 1994.
Oh, weird.
Okay.
And he did eventually get it, but not for like another 6 years or something, right?
Yep. And then he had an 11-4, 14-1, didn't make it. 11-4, 14-1, didn't make it. 11-4, 12-3, didn't make it. And then you have Hakuho's promotion, 13-2, 15-0. Kakuryu, 14-1, 14-1. Kisa no Sato, 12-3, 14-1, which is what we're looking at right now as best case scenario for Takakeisho. And so all of those are kind of hitting that 26 to 27 mark. There might be one where 25 made it, but recently you need to average 13 across the two basho, and even then it's not a guarantee, like we saw with Musashi Maru, who had a 12-3 followed up with 15-0. That wasn't good enough. We'll kind of see, but it's a borderline case for Takakeisho right now, and I think it's pretty clear. One more loss, even if he takes the Yusho at 13-2, probably needs to win the Yusho and Haru to get that Yokozuna promotion. So it might already be gone, but it's not quite. It's very borderline right now for him. I really hope he gets it. I do.
With Teruno Fuji being absent, I know his promotion was somewhat recently, but it still feels like so long since we've had Yokozuna.
Hakuho was wrestling back when Teruno Fuji was promoted.
Oh my God, yeah. It feels like 1,000 years ago now.
It does.
Also of note, Jun Yusho followed by Jun Yusho.
Not good enough
used
anymore.
to potentially be good enough.
Yeah.
That's what Futahaguro was promoted on 0 Yushos in his career and then was gone before he ever won one.
Yes.
So
no more of that.
None of that.
None of that.
So
now.
I would be curious if if this stat is different on either side of his situation.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I mean, Musashi Maru is obviously after Futahaguro, and
Right.
that's the guy we're pointing at. Like, come on, 12-3 followed by 15-0. You can't promote a guy.
Come on,
Come on.
throw the guy a rope. Come on.
Yeah, he got there eventually. But Takakeisho is not alone at the top of the leaderboard. He is joined by what everybody predicted, Maegashira 13, Koto Shoho at 7-1. His lone
Oy.
loss to frickin' Takada Fuji. So this is a guy where is he a pretender or is he an actual contender? Obviously, he's a pretender. But that being said, I have been impressed with his sumo this basho. He has shown much more fire than we like. The fire we saw from him when he first rocketed up to Maegashira 3 when he got into the top division. We're finally seeing that back from him this basho after about 2 years. And like after day 2, I'm like, okay, this guy's getting at least 10 wins if he keeps it up. And so far, he's made me looking
good.
But
he's certainly outshining Koto no Waka, who those two kind of, if I remember right, they came up roughly the same time because I remember confusing them often. But like, yeah, Koto Shoho made it up to Maegashira 3, but clearly had some injury issues and has just been completely forgettable since then, in my opinion.
absolutely.
He's just hovered in the double-digit Maegashiras for a while. Whereas Koto no Waka also made a Makuuchi division debut in 2020. Languished
Koto
for
no
a
Waka
while.
a couple bashos before Koto Shoho, but yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
But yeah, he had a similar pattern, but obviously, like, you know, the last year or so, he has been cruising upwards.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious if these two, because yeah, I guess in my opinion, I thought Koto Shoho looked more promising when these two first came around. So I don't know, it's kind of cool to see him surge back up and actually looks good. It's not like, you know, it's not fluke wins or anything. He's doing real good sumo.
Yeah. We'll see how he does in week 2. If he keeps this up, he's going to start going up against guys like, I mean, I don't know if they'll put him up against like Takakeisho right away, but he's going to be going up against the other leaders and eventually work his way into the Sanyaku if he stays in the race. And I think he's pretty quickly going to fall apart. I don't think we're really taking a Koto Shoho Yusho run here seriously.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the guys that are one back of Takakeisho and Koto Shoho to see if we do have any real contenders that might put up a fight against Takakeisho to win this Yusho. And starting with our Sekiwake Hoshoryu, he is 6-2 so far. He started the last basho 7-1. But Jake, I'm curious, does Hoshoryu look better or worse to you than he did in the Kyushu basho?
Man, I don't know. I saw that this question was going to be addressed to me on the outline like yesterday, and I'm like, I have no idea. Like, he's one of those guys that, like, I'm not smart enough to know when he's doing well, what he's doing differently than when he's doing poorly. I think I might have brought this one up last basho or something too. It's like, I don't know what changes, but like does more win making now.
Yeah.
Than he did before. And that's like, I'm banging two rocks together trying to figure out what he's doing with his legs. And like, I don't know, it's lots of wins, I guess.
Throwing bones down and going, all right, what do they say?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you would get a better answer from a bowl of tea leaves than me on what exactly Hoshoryu is doing differently when he's doing well.
All right, let's go to our resident bowl of tea leaves. Flerick, what are you seeing in Hoshoryu?
Is wet. I'll tell you what.
It's wet.
No, I was gonna say it feels like I know exactly what you mean, Jacob. Where it's just kind of like it's like I don't know what's going on, but like but he's starting to do better. It's like been like a slow like increment, like improvement. And part of me thinks that's just like his like experience in some of these weird situations. Like he gets a little bit, he knows what to do a little bit more. He knows like what the one fatal thing that made him lose last time. So okay, I don't do that one thing with my body and hopefully I can do well. His body's probably developing a little bit better. One thing I think it was yesterday, day 7, when I was kind of chatting with all you guys about like the way his foot technique of when he was being kind of pushed back against the Supari. He was against Abi.
Yep.
Like he had his heel like just like dug into the ground and like just to withstand that.
He was
I
able to
think-
deflect those deep shots. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one thing I really like from what he does is like he has a plan when he goes into like his matches. Like when he goes against Supari people, gets in like really close from what I can observe, and he just also tries to deflect the arms. Like just those are the things I could see as kind of an outsider. There's probably a bunch of other tiny things he's doing as well to kind of be able to do that. But he's just kind of slowly getting those like what to do in each like scenario. And like I kind of hearken it a lot to Hakuho, of where like you kind of like, oh, the match starts, stuff happens, and all of a sudden like is able to get a winning, like able to win from it. And so I think he's just gaining that experience over time, and he's able to actually translate that to wins now. And it's great to see.
I love the Hakuho comparison, because the other thing that I was going to say that I do notice about him is when he wins, he tends to make people look foolish. A lot the way that Hakuho would.
And he just glares.
Well, it's not just that. It's also like, like a tiny movement sends a guy flying kind of a deal, and then he's just standing in the middle of the ring like, how dare you try to wrestle me, kind of a,
this is my ring.
Just that not just the attitude of it, but also like the technique of it. Like it's very clear that like, yeah, like you said, Flair, he's understanding the different situations that he can get put in better than he used to, as he gets more experience. And that's allowing him to have those like Yokozuna level matches where he just like hurls a guy without breaking a sweat, kind of a deal, right?
Yeah, that reminds me of his day 2 match against Koto Nawaka, where we're talking about he has a plan A, he has a plan B, he has a plan C. Because I remember that match, he won the Tachiai, he was pushing Koto Nawaka back, had him on the verge. So that was his plan A. He was just gonna bull rush Koto Nawaka out. Koto Nawaka had good defense at the Tawara and was able to start pushing Hoshoryu backwards. Hoshoryu looked like he was in a bad spot. Then he planted his leg in between Koto Nawaka's leg, was able to turn his hips and got Koto Nawaka with a shitate nage. So he's got, if plan A doesn't work, all right, this is what I'm going to do. Plan B, this kind of happens, I'm going to go do this. He just seems like I said, it's just much more cerebral, kind of like Hakuho, where he knows what to do in each situation. He doesn't he's not Hakuho.
No, not
he's
yet.
not going to be
Not yet.
Hakuho, but he's Hakuho-ish in that area, and he might be what Hoshoryu was like as well. But we didn't really watch Hoshoryu, so we don't know how he wrestled.
Apologies to all the historic sumo fans out there. We didn't watch the rise of Hoshoryu, so we just have to compare him to Hakuho. Sorry.
But for me, I would say I feel like I asked this question because I do feel like despite the worst record, he does look better to me than he did in the first week Kyushu, because we were talking about probably, I think, on the Midway episodes, like he's got a good record, but he's been pretty dang lucky in a lot of these matches where like true. Stuff happened at the edge, where I feel like all of his wins are earned this basho.
Yes.
So I'm excited about Hoshoryu. I think I'm moving up my timeline on when I think this guy's going to be Ozeki. I honestly think probably after next basho, if he keeps this up, he's going to be an Ozeki.
Sure could be.
Find out.
Let's
but
talk.
It's fun to watch.
It is. It's absolutely fun to watch.
Definitely.
He's one of my favorite guys to watch day in and day out.
Speaking of promotions to Ozeki, Sekiwaki Wakatakakage. I regardless of where his promotion status is at, I hope that he changes his name if he's promoted to Ozeki. Something similar to Sekiwaki Wakatakakage. Like you gotta have that. So I'm thinking Ozeki Weki Teki Kegi or something like that. Like, that's kind of what I'm going to propose for him.
That's what we're going to refer to him.
Oh,
as.
totally.
If he ever makes the promotion,
Ozeki
Weki Teki Kegi. But let's talk about another guy who is pushing for the Yusho this basho. That is Maegashira 1 Daieisho. He's feeling that ranked Maegashira 1 West in the Hatsu basho magic once again, as this is the exact rank he was back in 2020 when he won the Hatsu basho. Jake, this one's also directed to you. Could Daieisho win the Yusho again?
Based on how my picking is going for predictions this tournament, he very well might win the Yusho. Yeah.
And that would be just worst case scenario all around.
Life is pain, and pain is inevitable, and we deserve another Daieisho Yusho as a species, so it's probably going to happen.
Save that existential crisis for when we talk about all the injuries we've had this month.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I'm just warming that engine up.
Yeah, I will say the one thing I've noticed about Daisho is I feel like his Tachi is kind of back to when he was winning, like the
Agreed,
show.
Cleric.
Like it's hard. He's hard hitting Tachi right now, and I feel scared for anyone who has to go against him.
But he's
Memes
not losing his
aside.
head. See, the problem with me was I would compare him so much to Onosho, where they would just barrel straight ahead and they do a cartwheel as people just let them fly past. I'm not seeing that as much with Daisho this time.
Little discipline, yeah. Like, and I mean, memes aside, like, yeah, he looks really good. There's absolutely no viable reason that I like Takakeisho and dislike Daisho because their styles are like honestly pretty similar.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it shows in
There's-
the popularity poll too. Like Takakeisho's way up high and Daisho's down with all the other forgotten people. And he's like, "What? I won a Yusho. Why am I down here with
what
like
did I do to
Henka?"
you people? Yeah.
Well, where's Tamawashi at? He's got 2 under his belt.
Yeah. So memes aside, yeah, I think
Tamawashi's
he's
above
looking great.
Daisho. I can tell you that.
Okay.
Not in the top 10, but he's above Daisho.
Oh man.
All right. Another Rikishi, just one off the lead at this point, is the aforementioned Oh No Show. Fleric, is he a pretender or contender for this Yusho?
It's hard for me to consider him a contender ever. So still pretender in my mind. I'm impressed by his record. He's doing quite well. It's good to see, but it's the consistency. Like we'll find out. Like yes, he's having a hot basho. I don't think his style is going to stack up against Joy. Very similar to Koto shoho. Koto shoho. I had to make sure I had the right Koto. I was talking about.
Too many Kotos.
I still get a little bit confused.
Yeah.
But no, it's just kind of waiting to see how it kind of goes with him. Yeah.
I felt a lot more scared of Daisho before he lost today to Meisei, who is 3-5 and not having good basho. I felt better about. I didn't think Onosho was going to win, but like, maybe like 11, 12 wins Onosho could do, and then he lost to Nishikigi today. Granted, Nishikigi's been like doing good somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, now
past,
wasn't
like,
it on a
6-8 months, but still, it's Nishikigi.
Wasn't it on a previous episode where Flair was like, "Did we know he was a Sekiwake at one point?" I was like, "Wait a minute, was he?"
Who?
Nishikigi.
Nishikigi was never Sekiwake.
No,
He's never been in the
Magashira too.
Sanyaku.
Oh, is it Magashira too? Okay, either way, he got
Even
a
that
lot
sounds
higher.
high though.
Yeah. Nishikigi got in the joy and stayed there for a couple of bashos, and apparently he just does that every couple of years now.
It's okay. Our brains like corrected the mistake and have forgotten about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like,
He-
okay.
He went down to Juryo, hung down there for a year, and now he's back. And I don't understand. Nishikigi is baffling me right now.
Yeah.
Mac, another Rikishi that is 6-2, Aoyama, contender or pretender.
Pretender. Moving on.
Yeah.
What? No, this is
Another
his
guy-
once a year. This is his once a year Junyu show that he's gonna have.
Yeah.
Well, okay, the closest that we've ever seen him actually get to touching the U show or the Junyu show was when Hakuho was, or was it Haruma Fuji?
No, it was Hakuho.
I thought it was Hakuho. Okay, that was Hakuho.
He got like
That was the closest we've ever
Yeah.
seen him get.
Yeah. And you know who's not wrestling right now?
Oh my
Hakuho.
God.
Oh God, that's your
No,
rationale.
I'm just saying that every year there's at least one. Sorry, not at least. Exactly, no more or less. One solid double-digit basho out of Aoyama, and I think it's this one. He's
Okay.
looking really. I really like his to go back to that, like, you know, unsophisticated but fun and brutal kind of analogy. Like this Aoyama is like, I get it. I understand what he's doing. I can follow it. I understand there are at most 3 steps in his flow chart, and I know each one of them, and I can follow it, and that's fun to me because I can get it while
It's
I'm watching
predictable.
it, you know?
It's predictable
Yeah.
for you.
The
So
flow
for-
chart is pretty much Supari 1, Supari 2, Supari 3. Did I win? Yes. Am I going to lose now? If I didn't
Pull.
win, then yes.
Pull.
No, it's like,
Oh yeah.
it's
then
like
pull
Then pull.
And then lose.
and then lose.
A push, B pull, C it's like and you know, occasionally that gets him a win. Though.
God.
Yeah. But yeah, to Jake's point, in 2017, That is the 13-2 Junyusho that Aoyama had, his only basho that year with double-digit wins. Then we move on to 2018. We had to wait until Kyushu 2018, but he did get an 11-4 record, his only double-digit winning record that year. Then we get to 2019, 12-3 record with a Fighting Spirit prize in March, his only double-digit winning record that year. 2020, he had 11-4 technique prize in March, his only double-digit winning record that year. 2021, 11-4 Junyusho and Kanto Show Fighting Spirit prize in March again, his only double-digit winning record that year. And then 2022, he had a 10-5 record at Maegashira at 11, his only double-digit winning record that year.
Okay, so I stand corrected. There were 2 Junyushos in his history.
But it seems it happens once a year. Jake, you're muted once again. It happens once a year.
Damn it.
It looks like it happens most of the time beginning of the year. So this is probably going to be Aoyama's one double-digit winning record.
A technique prize, though?
Right? And he
How
lost
does that
that. He
happen?
lost the last 3 days that basho too. Like he was Yusho leader in March of 2020 until he
no
lost his
memory of
final
that
3
part.
days.
Neither do I. That's why I was like, wait,
Yeah.
he has 2 Junyushos? When did this happen?
In March of 2021.
No, I heard you.
and-
I heard you, but it was blank from my mind.
Oh, he did get a Fusen over Tsurugisho in that one. So yeah, that's really what saved him, I think. He didn't have to face
Aha.
Tsurugisho.
All right, that's far more talk about Aoyama than we ever need. We do have 2 more guys that I'm not even gonna ask pretender or contender, but they are 6-2, and one of them is Jake's chump, which makes me so happy. Azumaryu is currently sitting at a 6-2 record, and once again, Aoyama's another guy. I felt a lot better about his chances to like maybe sneak out a Junyusho until he lost to Azumaryu today. But Azumaryu 6-2. 4 of his wins are against 3 perennial Juryo Rikishi, Tsurugisho, Mitoryu, and Chiyomaru, all of whom are not doing good this basho. And then he also beat a retiring Oki no Umi. So he's 6-2, but he's done facing like the Juryo Rikishi. So I expect those wins to start dwindling and the losses to stack up.
But he
with
only needs
Azumaryu
2
here
to
pretty
get a
quickly.
Kachikosh.
But he did beat Aoyama today, so who
Aoyama,
knows?
that win, that's his only win over anyone with a winning record.
Yeah. But to Mac's point, he only needs 2 more for a Kachikoshi, which would be his first in like at least 10 tries in the top division, I think.
Yes.
So
You mentioned his wins are over perennial Juryo guys. He's also kind of one of those too.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah, like-
absolutely a perennial Juryo guy.
fellow.
But he's used to beating them and hopping up to the Makuuchi division, leaving those guys behind,
gotcha, yeah,
and then losing to the Makuuchi guys. He just
Mhm.
brought some of those Juryo guys with him this time. And then also Takeda Fuji is somehow 6-2.
Yay!
Even after like he broke his finger or something on like day 4 or 5.
Was it his wrist? What happened on
He's
that
got
match?
his fingers taped, so I think one of his fingers something happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it looked nasty, but he's still here. He's
Yeah.
he's got a no pullout record to
Maintain.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And he's doing good this time. So good for you, Takeda Fuji. You're not winning the U show.
No.
All right. Let's bring the existential sadness back up.
Ugh.
Jake, we have had some injuries this basho, and I don't know if it's the biggest one, because we did have one guy that pulled out and then retired, but Takayasu going Kyujo on day 6 after an absolutely rough start, a 1-4 start for Takayasu. He's going to fall down to like the Maegashira 8 to 10 range after this basho, which will put him in perfect spot to probably break everybody's hearts for a Yusho next basho.
You
But-
took the meme right out of my mouth.
Yeah. So the last time we had seen Takayasu before this basho was him getting injured and struggling to get up against Abi in that playoff match. Mac, do you think that injury might have carried over a little bit and is affecting him and caused him to get off to this poor start?
Maybe a little, but I would think that he'd had enough time just to recover from it. Looking at his matches that we saw him do, there was just no fire, and I didn't like that at all from Takayasu. And I did we get an official report as to how or why he pulled out? I don't
Bone
remember
bruise.
seeing anything.
Bone
Bone
contusion.
bruise?
Yeah,
Ooh.
bone contusion on his shin.
Okay, bone contusion on his shin. He wasn't injured on his shin with Abi.
True.
So it has like, okay, so maybe a little from the mental aspect of it, but I have to say no. I mean, overall with this, as in him affecting his poor start, like he's got something else going on, and it's mental game for Takayasu, as we have definitely commented before. He's just got something in his head, and I don't know what it is.
It's a bone bruise.
A bone bruise in his head. Okay, good.
Yeah. No, honestly, I would not. I would. There's no way that he would do this. Probably, but what if he just takes every other basho off and swings for the fences from the mid-Mikashira ranks?
Ooh.
It worked for him last year, almost.
You know what?
I-
Screw it.
Little bit of
I need a
gamesmanship.
Takayasu Yusho more than I need him to like actually like try hard every basho. Do it. Take everyone off. Stay roughly at M10 and just feast.
That's interesting. I assume like his big goal was to get back to Ozeki, but you might be right, Jake. That the Yusho is the one thing, is his albatross, his white whale that he needs to get. So
He's
maybe
about our
like you said,
age, so he's
Yeah.
also like way over the hill.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's on the wrong side of 30.
He's on the good side of 30. We're all on that side of 30 now. This is the right side of 30, Mac.
Mm.
Actually, yeah, everybody in our crew is now over 30.
And have been for a while.
Oh no, I
I
just
don't
met
know,
my
man. I'd
wife
love
who
to
is now
have-
over
well, yeah.
30.
I'd love
Well-
to have the back that I had in my 20s.
Also, yes.
In other injury news, we had Tochinoshin going Kyujo on day 5 after a 2-2 start. He wasn't doing bad to start the basho, but after his match on day 4 against Koto Shoho, who's very clearly favoring his left shoulder, turns out it got dislocated. If he remains out for the remainder of the basho, which I have to assume he will,
That hurts.
He's gonna drop down to Juryo. We'll see if he wants to stick it out. I mean, he didn't auto retire like Umi did, so makes me believe he's gonna stick it out and fight in Juryo again, but who knows? And then, of course, we have Umi, who went Kyujo on day 6 and retired, much like Chiyo Tairyu. He's had an 0-5 start. His reason given for retirement was basically like, I'm tired. But-
fair.
Tim Sumo on Twitter put a bunch of stats up for Umi. So this will be our Umi tribute that he gets from us at Grand Sumo Breakdown. But he had 75 bashos in the top division, and once he entered Makuuchi, he never once dropped down to Juryo. He was in the Sanyaku 8 times in his career, a career high rank of Sekiwake. He won 3 Jun Yusho, 5 special prizes, and 4 Kinboshi. He has a win over every Yokozuna and Ozeki since 2011. He's been a Sekitori since 2009. He's Sumo Jason's favorite rikishi. And we got some quotes from Kyoto News article. The article was titled "Sumo Umi announces retirement after exiting New Year meet." Umi was quoted as saying, "For several years, I relied on mental strength to overcome my inability to wrestle my own style of sumo, but recently it became too exhausting." And then he also said, "I received a lot of support and met a lot of people through sumo. I really have no regrets." He's going to stay on. I think he's got like Kimi Gahama, I think is his elder
Kabu?
stock name. Yeah, his Kabu.
Okay.
So he's going to stay on as a coach, and I think he wants to lead his own stable one day. So he's not leaving the world of sumo. He's just done with the actual wrestling due to being very tired, which I don't blame him.
I mean, I
Yeah,
get
no.
that. Yeah, no, for me, Umi was always kind of like just there. I think it
Mhm.
was a combination of like he's been like a mainstay since we started watching sumo and never really went far out of like his range, like
Right.
he's just like okay, and he's there.
Yeah.
But like Takara Fuji, he had his
Sure.
level. He had his area where he just stayed and hovered for a long time.
For me, I know that I absolutely underappreciate Umi just because there's nothing super like memorable about him, I guess. He's a guy like Miyagiryu or Sadano Umi, I guess, are in the same mental drawer for me, where it's like those guys have been around forever. They're pretty good. That's about all I know. Oh,
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing about him for English speaking fans is that he's Sumo Jason's favorite.
yeah. Right.
And then let's do a quick Ozeki update. We had all 4 Sekiwake are kind of reaching for the Ozeki rank. Takayasu injured, pulled out. Not happening anytime soon. Wakataka Kage sitting with 4 losses already, coming off of 8 wins. 11-8-11, even if he wins out, isn't going to get him Ozeki promotion. Hoshoryu is at 8-11, and if he wins out 13, borderline could get there, but probably not. And then we have Shodai, who he needed 10 wins to get back to the rank of Ozeki, and he is 2-6. He looks like he wants to be anywhere else in the world besides on the doyo this basho. Yeah, so Ozeki Shodai is officially done and gone. It's not gonna happen again. We can stop talking about him so much. He's gonna go back where he belongs. The world is gonna feel right again.
Yeah, I will say Hoshoryu, if he ended up at 13 wins, guarantee he's promoted. Because if he did that, that would mean that he has to face Takakeisho. So if he won out, that would mean that Takakeisho takes a loss, and thus he would be
at least force a playoff.
Yes, force a playoff.
So and a Juryo show with ascending wins, more wins each time in the Ozeki run is something they always look
Sure.
for. I would guarantee that he'd get promoted with that performance. But I mean, based on the 2 losses that he's taken, I don't know.
Who knows?
Daisho, Midori Fuji, not like, Midori Fuji, that's not a great loss to have taken. So I don't have high hopes.
He's been looking good
Daisho's
this basho.
But he does look very
yes.
good. And we already talked about him plenty.
All right, let's get to the Henka of it all, because we've had some good Henkas this first week, and some Sanyaku Henkas. So I just kind of get your guys' opinion, what you think was the best Henka. So on day 5, I believe it was, Tobizaru Henka'd Kiribayama. On day 6, Wakataka Kage Henka'd Tamawashi. And then I struggle to classify Hoshoryu against Sada Naomi as a Henka, because Hoshoryu did go forward. He did initiate contact with Hoshoryu. He just had the plan that as soon as my hand touches your shoulder, I'm going to dip to the side, grab your belt, and throw you down.
The Henka, no Henka.
Yeah. So that one's very borderline to me. The other 2, clearly Henkas.
Oh, definitely.
But which was your favorite Henka? We'll even throw in the Hoshoryu one if you want to so far this basho.
I think it's a good idea to throw that in because it's absolutely a Henka. And it was
He
probably
went forward,
my favorite
he initiated contact. Like the Henkas, you're avoiding that contact at the Tachiai. He did make contact. He did move forward.
He did make
at the
contact.
one.
Do you think there's a difference?
I'm rewatching it right now. I
did rewatch it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right. He does like go in straighter enough to fool him. But
yeah, like
I think that one's
immediately
my favorite.
Tobizaru, Wakataka Kage are slipping to the side.
Blatant,
Wakataka Kage
just blatant one.
slapping him down. Tobizaru slapping him down. Hoshoryu goes in, shoulder
Gets that
or
deep
hand on the
grip
shoulder,
on the knot.
reaches around, grabs the belt, and throws
This is
him
the
down.
finest of splitting hairs right here. Like that's
Yes.
absolutely a Henka. Like come on. But you're right. I think that
Here's
was
how
probably
I
my
judge it. Sumo follower on Twitter wasn't mad about the Hoshoryu one, so it wasn't a Henka.
Oh, so that's the deciding.
Okay,
one.
that is it. That's an interesting bar. I can buy that.
All right.
If it pisses off Sumo follower, then it counts.
Yeah.
I do think that one's probably my favorite, just because of like the little bit of like sass he has about it.
Yeah.
Like not only did he do that, but he's also kind of a dick about it. Like
Oh yeah.
he has like a bit of a
Totally.
strut to it, and he's doing a face. Yeah, it's that one's my favorite.
I think Sada Naomi beat Hoshoryu last time and cost Hoshoryu a spot in the playoff. Let me double check that.
I'm looking to.
Oh.
No, he beat
Sada
Naomi last
Naomi.
time. Okay.
Nope, it's for nothing then.
No,
Yep.
it's for nothing. He beat Sada
He is
Naomi.
3-3 against Sada Naomi. He does have a surprising number of losses against Sada Naomi. So I get it. He's just like, nope, not gonna deal with this. Get out of here. I hate you.
It's the Hakuho and who was it? Tochiozan, maybe that he was
Tochiozan.
always
Yeah,
particularly
Tochiozan.
mean to for some reason.
Yes.
But either way, that's my favorite individual one. But I am super looking forward to the old guys having their panties in a bunch after the basho, talking about the quality of sumo and things like that. Especially if we get a couple more Sanyaku Henkas, that'd be awesome.
What about Mac and Flair? Do you have any other thoughts on your favorite Henka?
For me, it was the exact same one. I will say it was.
Yeah.
I think it was the attitude. The attitude was good. I would say, but also it was just a really good throw. Like it was.
That's what won it from me. It was a throw. The other two were slap downs, which you commonly see with Henkas, but this one he followed it up with a throw, not just a slap down, not a Hitaki Komi. It was one of those get out of my ring.
Yeah, I think the last thing that kind of made me like it a lot was like I say the Henka no Henka or the Harumifuji non Henka.
The Harumifuji
like when he was
non-Henka.
When he was kind of big, and I always liked Harumifuji. So I at least his style in the ring. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was good.
For me, I love the Tobizaru one just because it was an absolute pure Henka and Kiri, but like just the one that you think of where like the dude just absolutely goes flying completely
Biff.
of his own accord, and Kiribayama just flew out of the dojo. I thought it was beautiful and I loved it.
Yeah,
I did not because he's my chump.
second
You
row.
suck.
Yeah. All right. Any other Rikishi that we want to point out that we haven't so far? I don't really think I have anybody else that I need to bring up. All right.
I think
sounds
it's
good.
kind of. I'm sorry, Abi. We haven't mentioned him
Oh,
at
yeah.
all.
Abi was gonna be in like the Yusho race, and now he's lost 3 in a row. Like he started off 5-0. He looked dominant. I'm like, oh damn, is Abi?
Here we go
like,
again.
Was those injury like he had surgery, sat out of Aki? Was that like what was holding him back? Why he was getting those 8-7, 7-8 records in the when he was in the Joy and Sanyaku, and he started off 5-0. I was like, this guy's gonna win
Okay.
back-to-back Yusho. This is gonna cause some sort of crisis. And now he's lost 3 in a row. I'm like, okay, no, yeah,
All right, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think and looking back at his record here, he hasn't beaten anybody who has a winning record in this basho.
Yeah.
So like, yes, beating Wakataka Kage is a good win for sure.
Mhm.
But Wakataka Kage not having a super great basho this time around. He's
No.
doing fine. But
He
like,
needed to
that's his
Henka
best win.
Tamawashi to get back to a 500 record a couple days ago.
Yeah. So like, yeah, in retrospect, looking back at the guys that he's beaten the first 5 days, yes, his sumo, his brand of sumo was on point. He was doing it and everything. But like, as soon as he goes up against guys that are pretty genki this tournament, he's just looked back to, oh, that's right. This is what it looks like when Abi
Yeah, right.
wrestles guys that are really good.
Yep.
Oh well.
All right. Dipping down to Juryo real quick. Asanoyama cleaning up down there as expected. He is currently 8-0. 14-1, 15-0. We could see him in Makuuchi next basho. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Also down there, Hokuseiho, he looks primed to make his Makuuchi debut next basho as well. He's Juryo.
He looked
too.
good today. I liked
Yeah.
his win with against Mitoryu.
Yep. He's 6-2 record. I mean, this is a guy that since he's been competing in Juryo has gone 11-4, 9-6, 10-5. He's currently sitting at 6-2. So this is a guy that needs out of Juryo, needs to test himself against Makuuchi and see if he is for real. Will he live up to his size and his hype? I'm hopeful. I'm also
He's 21.
concerned.
He's
Also
I'm hopeful.
concerned.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time. Health wise, he did have some time off, but actually, were those COVID ones or were those
One was
I
injury.
thought one was COVID.
one was
Yeah,
injury?
he
Okay.
sat out one for
Um,
COVID and one he injured himself after his day 1 match and had to pull out.
Gotcha. Oh, that's right. That was his first time in Juryo. But yeah. No. Either way, I think he's at least keeping the dream of being that blue chip prospect he's been treated as. He's keeping that dream alive for sure. I'm hopeful because I would love to see some new blood. That I always love seeing new prospects come up, and the couple matches I've seen of his, he definitely seems to be improving.
Things are lining up for a fun bottom of Makuuchi in Haru. because right now I'm looking at 5 demotions and things can change. But right now, Ichinojo going down, Okinaumi retiring, Tochinoshin going down, and then you also have Chiyomaru, who's 1-7 from the bottom spot.
Yeah, that's not good.
Tsurugisho is 2-6 for Magashira 15. So that's 5 guys that look pretty damn likely they're going down. And then the people that will replace him, Bushozan's 5-3 from Juryo 1. He would be a first-time Makuuchi Rikishi. Hokuseiho 6-2 from Juryo 2, first time. Oshoma 5-3 from
Love to see him
Juryo
in the
3.
top division.
Ooh.
He would be fun in the top division. He's in line. Toha Kuryu, 6-2 from Juryo 4. He would be in line if things keep up. Keen Bozan is 7-1 from Juryo 5. He'd be another fun one to get up in the top division. He's in line. And then you also have Asanoyama, who is currently undefeated. So hopefully, if things continue down this path, we're going to get rid of some of those gatekeepers in Chiyomaru, Tsurugisho, and then we're going to get fresh new blood up into the top division that I think
I still love you, Chiyomaru.
a nice,
But you got to go, baby. You got to go.
getting through those first 5 or 6 matches. This basho is just, it's a slog. Like, who cares about the, like, I get physically angry every time I see Tsurugisho and Chiyomaru. I'm like, I'm tired of seeing you in the top division. Get out
So
of
I said,
here.
I love you,
I'm
baby, but you
done.
got to go.
I am done watching you in the top division. You have nothing to offer me. Get out of here. Let's get the new guys in here.
Yeah, that's saying something that Azumaryu is not included in that group.
I get mad when I see him too, but at least he's winning.
At least he's
At
winning.
least
You're
he's
right.
6-2.
Yeah, I have to like double check if I switched it to like slow-mo when Azumaryu is wrestling.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I mean, you did leave out the top guy in Juryo, who's also 8-0. That's Aqua.
Jake, your dyslexia is kicking in there.
Oh, 0-8. Never mind.
Yes,
That's
0-8.
very bad.
No, he's
That's
0-8.
very bad,
Very
Aqua.
bad.
Thank you. I'm gonna credit myself with an assist for that one.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break here. We'll come back. Jake will let us know if I honestly have no idea where the GSB belt is, so I don't know if we need to be devastated right now or hopeful for the future. We'll update everybody on the prediction series standings and go through our lightning round.
If you enjoy the Grand Sumo Breakdown podcast, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast listening service.
You can find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search for Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Support the show on Patreon and check out our blog, grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com.
If you have any questions, comments, or corrections, drop us a line at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com or give us a call at 805-613-7866. That's 805-613-SUMO.
Also, watch us on YouTube.
Right where we left it. The GS.
Okay, so status quo for the belts.
Yeah. So Ishizake was the guy who finished. Oh, wait, what? Oh, he changed his name. That's confusing.
Oh. Wait, a Makushita guy changed his name?
Yeah. Here, did he? How does he have the belt?
What's going on?
What are you doing?
I think I might have just did the. Wait, no. How did this
you
happen?
mess up?
Shoho. Oh, I'm sorry. Ishizake won the match. Shoho started the basho with the belt, but he immediately lost it. Okay.
Then he lost it.
I'm back in the game. I'm
All right.
back on the rails here.
Let's go.
Shoho, last basho, he was the one who ruined things at the last second to keep the belt in Makushita. Let's see, where is and he is, yes, that's why I was confused, because he is now Makushita 1.
Yes.
And immediately lost the belt because that's how it works. If you have the belt in Makushita, you lose it to somebody who is lower ranked than you every damn time. So he immediately lost it to Ishizaki, who is a lower rank than him. Ishizake immediately lost it to Hoshoryu, who is in a lower rank than him. Hoshoryu lost it to Toki Hayate, who currently has the belt at Makushita 6. So we have gone down 5 ranks.
Okay,
As
so
is
devastation. All right, we're good.
Yep. No, status quo, which is
Status quo.
just
sad.
whatever is bad.
And
It's
it
sad.
looks like Toki Hayate is the only Rikishi within the top 15 that is undefeated. So he will only
Which
be matched
means-
up with other undefeated Rikishi. So if he loses one more match, It will likely remain in Makushita. There is something interesting down in Makushita. Ochiai, who is a Makushita Tsukedashi, and he's only 19 years old.
Oh, he's a
usually
youngin'.
these like guys that debut at Makushita or Sandanme have been in university for a few years, and
So
they're like
22-ish.
22, 23. This guy is 19 years old. He's 4-0 so far in his sumo debut at Makushita. He's in the Miyagino stable, and I've heard a lot of hype from him on Twitter this basho. So it'd be very interesting if this guy ended up winning the Yusho. Probably, I would assume, vault him up to Makushita 1. I don't think they'd promote him up to
As is
Juryo.
tradition.
Yeah. But
He would get the
Keep an eye
GSP
on-
belt and then lose it on the last day, and then get promoted
As-
next batch.
This
Yeah.
this is the way. This is the way.
But
Also,
yeah,
kind of funny. His very first win, Fusen.
no better
Very
ways to
first
dip
match,
your
he shows
toes
up.
into the water than just stepping on the dohyo. All right, you're good. You can go.
All right,
You
you're
win.
good. All right,
Yeah,
thanks,
It was
guys.
the only thing he did for 3 straight days was
Yeah.
walk up to the dohyo, bow, and then leave. Auspicious start to the career there.
I like it.
All right, let's move on to something that makes me quite happy. That is our prediction series. So far, everything's looking good for me. I am in the lead with 14 points, with Takakeisho as my champ and Sada Naomi as my chump. Everything's going good there. Fleric is behind me with 12 points. He's got Abi as his champ and Mitoryu as his chump. 5 wins for Abi, 5 losses for Mitoryu. And then we have Mac at 9 points, Wakataka Kage as his champ, Tobizaru as his chump. And then Jake, just bad luck this basho for Jake, had Takayasu as his champ,
Ugh.
has Azumaryu as his chump. Hey, your
Both.
replacement Meisei has been big for you these past 2 days.
Yes.
Yes.
40% of all of my points have come from my replacement champ winning 2 matches. But yeah, no, I made good decisions that have panned out very badly.
yeah.
My logic was perfectly fine.
At the time,
Azu-
it seemed like a
At
good
the
idea.
time.
Azumaryu as a chump. Oh, cool. He's back in the top division. Guaranteed 8 or 9 points, right?
Yeah.
Takayasu, Rikishi of the year last year for our, according to us.
Yeah.
On a great stretch. Perfectly reasonable to expect a good basho out of him. No, I don't regret making the picks I did. I just regret that the universe has such a
Conspiring against you.
such vengeance to enact
Yeah.
upon me.
So lucky for Jake, our punishment, the D20 of Doom, does not dictate any work from Jake is required. It falls on the winner. Unfortunately for Jake, it looks
That
like the
winner
winner's
might
going to
be
be
you.
me.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Who
Ryan.
is most excited to put something together to embarrass Jake on this. And I've got an idea. So hopefully things stay true, or Fleric wins and he just defers all the work to me, and I'll take that as well.
Hey.
Cool.
Oh boy.
All right. So that is where the prediction series are at. It's things are finally looking right in the world, right? Ryan needs a win. He
After a
hasn't gotten one
year.
in over a year.
After a year.
Hey, do we want to do that one on the recap or the March preview?
We'll see how much time I can devote to it between now and then.
I'm just trying to get you to say say confident things as much as possible to jinx yourself as badly as we can here.
I'm not going to lose. And then I'm pretty sure Mac and Fleric would let me kind of take the reins on this one.
They would at least hire you as a consultant.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, what do we do?
All right. What we do is we move on to the lightning round. We will start with Mac. Who has impressed you the most so far this basho?
Takara Fuji, staving off the cold embrace of Kyujo and Intai. Keep it up, buddy.
What about you, Fleric?
Hoshoryu, he's looking so good.
All right, Jake.
Takakeisho, proving that he deserves to be top dog right now.
I'm going to go with Koto Shoho, showing that fire that we saw when he first debuted. Who has disappointed you the most? We'll go with Fleric.
I will go with Takayasu. Not that it was his fault, but it's very, very sad.
Yeah. Jake.
Ouch.
I would pick Takayasu for the sake of variety. I'll pick Koto no Waka. I kind of wanted him to be the phenom that we predicted he could be.
Yep. I think Mac and I are coming from the same place on this one. We haven't talked about it all. Oho following up his 10-5 with a 1-7 start here.
Yep.
Come on, man. You were
Baby,
destined for
sweetheart.
more.
Come on, you gotta try.
Favorite match of the basho so far, Jake?
I think we're all probably going to agree. Midori Fuji Takakeisho. That was
100%.
Yep, that one is absolutely my favorite so far. But like I said, this one has been a very good basho for good matches. So I don't want to leave other ones out. I want
it's a standout for favorite, but that does just because that's unanimous doesn't mean that there aren't other good matches. Yeah.
True. True.
The Hoshoryu Midori Fuji match on day 6 with that great throw by Midori Fuji at the edge. That was a good back and forth match. Takakeisho Daisho match.
Yeah.
Was a good
one.
Back and forth pushing thrusting match. I don't remember much about it, but I had Meisei versus Wakamoto Haru.
That was another
first
good one.
match that led to a Tori Naoshi.
Yep.
That was a
God, he was
one that
so
didn't count.
exhausted after that one.
Mhm.
Oh,
We've had a lot of Tori Naoshi this basho so far.
actually, we have.
It's been fun. I enjoy the Tori Naoshi. Most exciting potential matchup for me, Hoshoryu versus Takakeisho, and that's probably for all of us.
Right here.
Yeah, same.
And then who is going to win the basho? Mac, who's going to win?
Takakeisho. I think he's got it.
Fleric,
I want to say someone else, but I gotta say Takakeisho as well.
Jake,
Ryan.
yes.
Ryan
Jake knows
just
what's up.
comes out into the ring and be like, I am the king.
I will make my friends say stupid things on a podcast.
I'm going to count that as a prediction for Takakeisho to win.
Yeah, go for it. Yes, you may.
Since he is my champ. And I'm going to make it a 4 for this. Just feels like Takakeisho is pushing for that Yokozuna promotion. I think he's going to come up just short, but I still think he'll win the U show.
Okay.
And so that's all that we have for our Hatsu Midway episode. We will be back right after things wrap up on day 15. We will be back to record our instant feedback on the recap episode. May or may not have Jake's punishment. I'm going to lean towards probably not, but that's okay. We're doing those on the preview now anyways. So we already did our social media stuff in our break, so I guess
Bye.
we'll see you next time.
Skull! Skull!
Oh, yeah, Skull Vikings. They got to beat the Giants in the playoffs today so they can get decimated by the 49ers next week. Let's go!
No!
You had to end it on the thing that's going to age the most poorly.
Yes. Well, duh.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Until next time,
Throw your salt high.
And keep moving forward.